Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om Sri 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 Rama Jai Jai Rama Jai Jai. Can you hear some, Mataji? Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Swamiji, Om Swamiji, Om Swamiji, Om Swamiji. Hari Om. Hari Om Swamiji. Om Swamiji. Hari Om. Hari Om. Happy Republic Day, Swamiji. Happy Republic Day. Republic Day. Republic Day, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Hari Om. Morning we saw the parade. Acha. Okay. Yes. Swamiji. Yeah. Swamiji, the IPJ regarding the railway policeman. Everybody knows, but I'm just sharing my this thing. In the policeman's eyes, Papa was not ordinary person. Policeman's action also was spontaneous, no pinch of ego in that action. But in the eyes of station master and the railway clerk, Papa was only a railway. They were only performing their duty individual level. In Papa's case, he was looking all Ram not as an individual, but as a Ram, and their action also Ram's activating through them. So these three angles against the Swamiji. That is my. Everybody knows. Simply I am sharing my thoughts. That's all. Is it okay, Swamiji?
No, it is okay. Papa was seeing Ram in everybody. Ram does not make everybody to see as Ram, no.
Pardon?
Papa makes Ram makes Papa to see Ram in everybody.
Correct.
At the same time, Ram does not make everybody to see him.
Correct. Totally agree. Separate individual.
And we cannot ask the why and whereof.
No, not why. I am telling my this thing, sharing this difference. That's all. We should also reach their level. That's all.
That is why when we are on the spiritual path, we are not to see others. We have to first find out His presence inside us.
Yes, Swamiji.
That will solve all our problems. The
Correct,
moment
Swamiji.
we look outside, it will take us out. And
Yes,
we will
Swamiji.
be confused with the world only.
Correct, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om Pranam Swamiji. Hari Om Pranam Swamiji. 25th chapter Swamiji. 25th chapter IQG. 25th chapter Himalayan Journey 2. Page number 95. Papa's message: how to lead a life as aspirant, need-based life. Here mentioned Swamiji one paragraph. The mountains are peopled. The mountains are peopled by hill tribes, a fair complexioned and well-built race. They live by cultivation, cattle and goat breeding. Naturally, their lives and ways are simple. Their faith in God is very great. Ram Ram is always on their lips. If you talk to them, they tell you with a glow of pride that they are the descendants of the rishis that lived in those hills. Their clothing is wholly made of wool. Males wear long woolen coats and drawers and a black cap. Here and so the foodstuffs and clothing, the two essential of life, are the produce of their own labor. And since their mode of life is free from the benefit touch of modern civilization, they live simple, pure, honest, and pious lives. Swamiji, I want to. We are the Papa's children. How to follow our lives? Explain more details to speedy progress in spirituality.
Which is where I started?
The mountains are people.
Upper hill road.
95.
Second.
Well-built race. They live by cultivation, cattle and goat breeding. Naturally, their lives and ways are simple. Their faith in God is very great. Ram Ram is always on their lips. If you talk to them, they tell you with a glow of pride that they are descendants of the rishis that lived in those. Their clothing is wholly made up of wool. Males wear long woolen coats and drawers and a black cap, and women rough blankets in place of saris. These blankets are prepared there out of the wool yielded by the sheep by their tend. See, the foodstuffs and clothing, two essentials of life, are the produce of their own labor. Even while walking from place to place, every man and woman carries a quantity of wool, which he or she is spinning on the way. They have simple pith looms on which they weave the yarn into cloth. Since their mode of life is free from the baneful touch of modern civilization, they live simple, pure, honest, pious lives. Yes, what is the question?
We are the Papa's children. We are the Papa children. How to follow our lives? Explain more details to speedy progress in spirituality.
The simple thing is...
Need-based life.
The simple thing is, we have to lead a simple life. We have to lead a simple life. We have added on so many things. And then to maintain that, to acquire that, we toil. Suppose our wants are simple. Suppose we feel contented with the minimum. That is what these tribes people, they are having. So when Papa found them to be leading a very simple pattern of life, that means whatever their needs are there, they are met with by their own labor. They don't have, so many things, ambition, this and that. Even after exposure, we should be. Probably at that time, they would not have been exposed. An argument may come. But we are all exposed to so many thoughts, so many comforts, so many luxuries. So our mind naturally craves for getting more and more. But the message is simple, whatever it may be. If we lead a contented life, simple life, and if we try to limit our needs and try to work it up with our own labor, physical labor, then the life will be pleasant. We will be able to concentrate more and more on God. Because simple nature is God's nature, Simplicity is godliness. And they keep themselves, another message is, they keep themselves fully occupied throughout their waking state. Even while walking, they will do the spinning. That means the mind is not going anywhere else. This is another message. Good that you pointed out. Not only a simple life which is met with their own simple habits and bodily labor. With that, the mind is not put to so many things. When the concentration is on bodily labor, we have had occasions to be in the estate, of the estate. So we used to see the labor class. How contented they are, Because early morning they go for work, 7:30 is the roll call. Early morning, 7:30, in a hill station like Wayanad, just imagine. And up to 12:30, and then 1:30 to 4:30, 8 hours. So early morning, 7:30, if they have to come, they get up at 5 o'clock, they don't have any gas or anything, so they have to depend upon the firewood oven. They prepare food for their children, husband, herself, and they carry everything. And 7:30 they go to the office for roll call. All of them will be carrying their food. And up to 4:30 they work. And after 4:30, they go back. And then whatever the vessels are there, that will be taken to the nearest stream. They wash their vessels, they have their bath, they wash their clothes. Then somebody will be collecting wood again from the forest, and then they cook, and they eat, and they sleep by 10 o'clock. Again by 4:30, 5 o'clock they are up. I had lot of occasions to tell them. So on Sunday, at least you are free, They used to say Sunday is a very boring day for us. Because here, because of the tight schedule, the mind does not wander here and there. So when they come for some temple program, they are all very happy. So evening they come for some temple program. All of them will be neat, And their devotion is 100% pure. So Papa, Gandhiji of course used to say about this aspect, but when we were actually in the field, we came to know the more we employ ourselves for the bodily labor, the more we are free from the anchorings of the mind. Because when the mind is fully occupied with so many things, it cannot concentrate on the bodily labor. With the result, our whole lifestyle is changed. And when we go back for sleep, we don't get good sleep. So here Papa is trying to touch and kindle this aspect. Simple life, bodily labor. Their lives and ways are simple. Their faith in God is very great. Ram Ram is always on their lips. If you take them, they tell you with a glow and pride, okay. And the males wear, so these blankets are prepared, they are out of the wool yielded by the sheep. They tend. So the footsteps and clothing, the two essentials of life, are the produce of their own labor. Even while walking from place to place, every man and woman carries a quantity of wool, which he or she is spinning on the way. Ram Ram on the lips, and spinning on by hand. So the message, yeah, to the extent possible. We may not be able to do exactly like that. We will try our level best to do some bodily labor. That is why whenever now we go to ashram, we have developed this Ayodhyavan and Madhuvan, where devotees can spend about an hour or so bodily labor. And it will be not only educative, but also it will give you a lot of relaxation. So far we have not concentrated upon it. Previously, in good old days, we were told, even when we started going over here, the ashram was very, very simple, and so many things we have to do it by ourselves. There was a period we were told by Pujya Swamiji that there were ashram could not engage workers because of financial strictures. So then everybody was dispensed with. A few laborers stuck to ashram. They said, you don't worry about giving. Whenever you get, you give. Doesn't matter. We will continue to serve. And then every inmate was allotted with the bodily, all work. And Pujya Mataji did not say, you should do this, you should do that. Mataji praised it before everybody. And when the turn came for Pujya Swamiji opted for Goshala work. So many people took up so many things. Sweeping, cleaning, cooking, everything. So that means that period, it has gone wrong. When we went to Sevagram, when we went to Vinobaji's ashram, even now it is there. Part of the time is for the so-called labeled devotional practices. And most of the time is for bodily labor. So by the time you finish your work, and you have nothing else excepting chanting or remembering him, the mind becomes pure and clean. So the message is very clear. It is good that Papa now prompted somebody to point it out. Simple life with a thrust on bodily labor. We don't know. City dwellers, they may find it difficult to implement this, but still you may be able to implement in your own way. At least in the household, so many things can be done. Bodily labor is a must.
Swami Shankar Lakshmi, Anmakonda Samiti Sabhiralu, a member of Anmakonda Satsang Samiti, Shankar Lakshmi, said me that earlier when she visited Anandashram, she used to cut the vegetables and assist in the kitchen room. There. She told me that they used to cut the vegetables and assist in kitchen room earlier. Swami.
We now also remember our visit to Santram Mandir in Gujarat. People go there, they go first to the langar and vegetable cutting, dough making, chapati dough making, chapati making, so many things, whatever is there, winnowing, so many things they take up for half an hour or 1 hour, and then they go for Ramnam, then they have their prasad, and then they go. So bodily labor definitely helps us in our spiritual sadhana. That is the message Papa today gives us through this particular one.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam. Good that you raised this.
Pranam Swamiji.
No.
Pranam Mataji. Telugu. Pranam Mataji, Telugu Swamiji.
Telugu. Our interpreter is there.
Pranam. In the 15th chapter, Swamiji, Papa and Sadhu Ramani, Anglo-Indian Mataji, Anglo-Indian friend, స్టేషన్లో ఇటు కూర్చోండి అటు కూర్చోండి మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ కూర్చున్నాక లేదు లేదు ఇటు కూర్చోండి మళ్ళీ కూర్చున్నాక లేదు ఇటు కూర్చోండి అని బాగా సఫర్ చేస్తారు కదా మాతాజీ. అయితే పప్ప గారు ప్రతి సాధురాం గులుగుతా ఉంటాడు సేమ్ లైక్ మీ అయితే గులుగుతా ఉంటాడు ఏంటి ఇదంతా అని గులుగుతా ఉంటే పప్ప చెప్తారు ఇలా ప్రతిదీ పాజిటివ్ మాతాజీ ప్రతిదీ నాట్ ఇన్ ది 15th చాప్టర్ ఆల్ చాప్టర్స్ ప్రతి చాప్టర్స్ లో యాక్సెప్టెన్స్ ప్రతిదీ పప్ప చెప్తారు. అయితే మన మంచి కోసమే అలా చేస్తున్నారు. మనం ట్రైన్ లో కూర్చొని ఇలా మన ఖాళీలు అయ్యాయి కదా ఫ్రీ కావడానికి ఆంగ్లో ఇండియన్ అలా చేస్తున్నారని ప్రతి ఒక్క సంఘటనలో యాక్సెప్టెన్స్ చెప్తారు మాతాజీ. అయితే పప్పా పిల్లలుగా మేము ఏదో గ్రేట్ గా ఫీల్ అవుతామని జీరో అవుతున్నాం మాతాజీ. ఫీల్ చేస్తున్నాం యాక్సెప్టెన్స్ అన్నిట్లో అని అనుకుంటున్నాం కానీ ఏది కూడా చేయలేకపోతున్నాం మాతాజీ. హెల్ప్ గర్వంగా ఫీల్ అవుతామమ్మ పప్ప పిల్లలమని, కానీ ఒక్కటి కూడా ఆచరణ చేద్దామంటే మళ్ళీ ఫెయిల్ అవుతున్నాం మాతాజీ. ఇంకా పప్ప గారి దగ్గర ఉన్న ఆ సాధనం దగ్గర ఉన్నాయి తీసుకుంటారు, చెంబు తీసుకుంటారు, వాళ్ళు బాధపడతారు. కానీ పప్ప గారు ఆయన మీ దగ్గర ఏముంది అని అనకముందే స్పాట్ లా ఆ నోటి కంప్లీట్ కాకముందే పప్ప వాళ్ళ ముందు తీసుకుని ఫ్రెండ్ ఇది నీదే, ఎవరి దగ్గర ఉంటే ఈ వస్తువులు వాళ్ళవే, నాదంటూ ఎప్పుడు ఉంచుకోలేని పప్ప చెప్తానమ్మా. ఇది చాలా చాలా ఆనందం అనిపించింది మా దగ్గర. మేము ఏదన్నా ఒక్క సంఘటన తీసుకుని ఫాలో అయిదామన్నా కూడా ఫెయిల్ మాతాజీ. కారణం కొంచెం
ఒక్క నిమిషం స్వామీజీ. Hari Om Swamiji, she says in the one chapter there is a Anglo-Indian friend who is making Papa and Sadhuram get up and sit down, changes. You sit here, then again get up, come there, go there. So something like that he was making them move. So Papa has taken that incident as positive, whereas Sadhuram was grumbling like us. That is what she feels. He was continuously grumbling, whereas Papa has taken, oh friend, because we were sitting long time. So God is so kind, He is making us to go round. So like that, every incident in the book, wherever we see, all over Papa's acceptance. And as children of Papa, we say we are the devotees of Papa. But we are unable to follow anything. We are failed. We always fail. But we claim we are Papa's devotees. But most of the time we fail to do anything. So whereas Papa is showing in the whole book, wherever we go, whichever chapter, everywhere he says immediately acceptance. Everything is acceptance. But we are unable to do it. How to do it? How to follow?
See, we are only hearing, We are either reading or hearing. That will not help us unless we do, under the experience. That initiative has to come from us. God has given us a little freedom, a sense of individuality, with which whenever He makes us to read such things, we should try to implement it in our own way. Reading will not help. Hearing will not help. Here we do manan and then try to do as much as we can in the field in which we are placed. May not be able to do it in the same way. But now when we read this more and more, somehow we have to transform every labeled adverse situation into a positive one. Because, why? Because we are fully convinced that it is God's will that prevails. In our case, we are not fully convinced. In His case, He was fully convinced. So the problem lies is, we have to make efforts to somehow see that His will alone prevails. So when I keep on hammering to my mind and intellect that it is my will alone that prevails, even if I fail 100 times, probably at one time I may be able to succeed. That is how I try to make a progress. So reading or no doubt they give us some idea, but we should not be satisfied by that. We should try in our own way to transform this, labeled adverse situation into a positive situation, which can be had only by constantly hammering that it is God will, it is the will of God that had happened like this. And unless and until we try to move in that direction, we will be just reading and probably we may be able to memorize so many things, that's all. it may not help us in our day-to-day life. We have to keep on hammering. That it is...
Swamiji, we keep on being alert the whole day. And suddenly something, just speaks into our life. We don't even know, we are not even aware. It suddenly happens. And after it has happened, we come to know, post hoc analysis happens. How do we overcome it?
No, there is no shortcut, Absolutely, there is no shortcut. It has to be done constantly, tried constantly, perseveringly, patiently, with the faith that He will definitely help us. Because we should never arrogate that our efforts are going to give us the results. Our efforts plus His will through our efforts. We always keep that. You may please make me to do it. Just like Papa says, when you chant Ram Nam, if you think you are chanting the name, it will not give you the desired result. But if you feel that He is making you to chant the name, you will get the desired result. Same thing applies. Same thing applies here. I may fail, I may forget. Doesn't matter. I will not get dispirited. Because I have not been able to bring him into the picture. I know that. Okay. Now I will try. Like that, we keep on reminding. Doesn't matter. Even if I fail 100 times, I know that why I have failed. Because I have not brought this in my life. I will try. I will keep on trying. That is what IQG teaches, right from day one of his travel. He never got dispirited. Though at times he says, Ramdas does not know what to do now. In a shortest possible time, he is back again. His will be done. So this is a stage. This is a stage in advanced sadhana passes through. So we, with all our comforts, when we sit, naturally our struggle will be more. Because we have not left anything to him. We are still holding back everything to us.
But Swamiji, he has given us the comfort. He has given us the comfort. He has put us in this situation.
When we say He has given us His comfort, do we mean? Because if it's coming out of experience, then we have reached. It is only we are repeating at the lip level. We ourselves don't know that. We are only repeating at the lip level. Because the moment we know that He has provided the comforts for us, that means, He has provided everything for us. Even the so-called adverse circumstances. Even the forgetting. Even the remembering. Everything. Then we will not complain. So we are now finding out why the mind is playing the trick. Just to make us say that it is by His will that I am enjoying all these things. It is true, but I am not really feeling it. The moment I feel it, I have handed over everything to Him. Anxiety will not be there, uncertainty will not be there, insecurity will not be there. We will be peaceful always.
Hari Om Swamiji. Chapter number 21, meditation, the only way. Chapter number 21, last paragraph. Already, whole line, she would sit up around again between the town. Nights was அது கொஞ்சம் கூட நல்லா எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுங்க. கொஞ்சம் நீங்க என்னக்கா கொஞ்சம் டீப்பா போக முடியும். அதனால கொஞ்சம் நல்லா எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுங்க அந்த சாப்டர், அந்த paragraph.
Meditation is the only way.
அது லாஸ்ட் paragraph. ஏன் பப்பா வந்து the birds
Whole night he would sit up for Ram Bhajan in that room. Nights were spent in ecstasy. Ram's presence was felt in the very air he was breathing. In the mornings when he was repeating aloud the charming mantra Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
The birds of the air.
Small and big squirrels would alight on the parapet wall, would listen eagerly with rapt attention to the sound of the great Pranavam. Oh! In the evening the same sound, oh! would work like magic upon the goats and bullocks that came near the tomb of Trijayasi. They would raise their heads, pricking up their ears, stand still, drink in the sound. O Ram, it is proved beyond any doubt that thou residest in the hearts of all creatures. The sleeping souls of the birds of the air and the beasts of the plains are awakened at the call of Ram's glorious voice.
படிக்கிறதே நமக்கு ரொம்ப இதா இருக்கு.
This can be had only when you go to a place like SIRUMALAI. we must vocally chant and try experience. Because in the towns, in the cities, you may not be able to do it. Suppose you go to a relatively a place where human habitations are less, and there suppose there are a lot of birds, lot of these things, and then we try when we come to know that it will be there. Because in that particular place where Papa stayed, there was nobody. So as soon as he started, it was responded by all of them. So God gave him that experience. That means when he was there, he was not bothered about uncertainty, insecurity and anxiety. So with a pure heart when he was standing, free from me and mine, naturally it will have its own reaction on all creation. Because it is coming from a purest heart. You and I chant with a lot of these things in our background, But still, next time when you come to SIRUMALAI, we will try this. We will ask Shanmugam to locate a place where all of us can boldly chant and see for ourselves whether this is happening. If it is not happening, again we have to purify that heart. These are all the wonderful experiences when one gets in solitude. This is another way, of conveying to Papa that periodical resorts to a solitude will definitely help you to know that even God gives you such experience where you find He is residing in everybody. It is not merely that once in a way you get, but it becomes a reality. It gets stamped on your heart. So we have to take it that IQJ, this particular one, makes us to remember that some periodical resorts are to be undertaken. And when we undertake that resort, our agenda should be something on these lines. Minimum on our existence and maximum on the purpose. Wonderful, wonderful para. O Ram, it is proved beyond any doubt that thou residest in the hearts of all creatures. The sleeping souls of the birds of the air, the beasts of the plains, are awakened at the call of Ram's glorious voice. Good.
Swamiji, but we should not regret for our actions. We should not regret for our actions.
Regret for our action.
Why it is so like that?
You will not regret for your action when you know that you have been prompted by God.
Achha, that is a...
You can say, why did you make me to do that?
Correct. So until that feeling is there, we
to such time that regret will be there, we have to repair that damage, whatever we have done.
Nobody is asking. So I will ask one more question, Swamiji. So we people know, old people, how to go to this such places, because the age, I think we cannot go.
You have to ask him. You have to pray to him. Ask him. You see, you are giving me all these ideas when I am old, and the body and mind is not cooperating with me fully, as it was cooperating in your time. You give me a method by which, the body mind also cooperates along with my keen desire to move towards you. Prayer, crying, weeping, pleading, appealing. No shortcut.
ഹരിയോം സ്വാമി. ചാപ്റ്റർ 25 ചാപ്റ്റർ 25
ചാപ്റ്റർ 25
അഞ്ചാമത്തെ
അഞ്ചാമത്തെ
പാരാഗ്രാഫ് സത്സംഗത്തെ അതിനെ കുറിച്ച് സ്വാമിജി പറയോ?
അഞ്ചാമത്തെ പാക്കറ്റ് 25
സംഘത്തെ കുറിച്ച് അഞ്ചാമത്തെ പാരഗ്രാഫിൽ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. പപ്പ
അത് തുടങ്ങണമെന്ന്
ഒരു മിനിറ്റ്.
89
At different stages of journey over the hills.
At different stages of the journey over the hills, under trees or in small huts or in caves, are seen sadhus engaged in austerities. To seek their company and remain there forever so small period is a great privilege. The society of a sadhu is a much needed bath for the mind. The pure atmosphere he creates around him by his by his meditation is the river in which the mind bathes and is purged of evil thoughts and impressions. Oh, it's really a wonderful para. Upon these sacred hills are ashrams of such famous saints as Narada and Agastya Muni. There is also a place called Pandukeshwar, where the Pandavas are said to have halted for some time during their journey to Kailash. There is a temple here and some old inscriptions upon plates of copper. The first place visited by Ramdas and Ramkinkar on the heights was Triyugini Narayan. The ascent to the spot was sharp and steep, and it was a plateau surrounded by hills covered with snow. Hence the cold here was... Anyway, that's all. The first stage is important. At different stages of the journey over the hills, under trees or in small huts or caves, are seen sadhus engaged in austerities. To seek their company and remain there for ever so small a period is a great privilege. The society of the sadhu is a much needed bath for the mind. The pure atmosphere he creates around him by his meditations is the river in which the mind bathes and is purged of evil thoughts and impressions. Whenever we happen to hear about a Mahatma, whenever we happen to have a darshan of Mahatma, which are plenty in Himalayas, at that time. Nowadays, many places have become like suburban towns and cities. But still, there are, when you go up and up, even where there are no roads, we may still find. So what are we to do now? He has given us the assurance that the moment we see a sadhu practicing austerities, because he was always reveling in God, meditation means always reveling in God, the atmosphere is so vibrant that when we go there, our mind has a path. in a pure water, as it were. That means darshan of a saint helps us. Darshan of a saint performing austerities definitely helps us. Because they have no other thought. Absolutely no other thought. They are always reveling in Him only. Nobody can say that they are not exposed. Many people go there, but there is no inquisitiveness on their part to ask, where are you, what are you doing? They have no requests, they have no grumbling, they have no complaints. That means 99.99 of their mind space is fully occupied by God thought only. As a sense of individuality, not one person may be there. So when we go there, our sense of individuality, when it is blessed to link with Him, it takes a bath. The purity that is coming out from Him. It is something very nice to point out. It's a very important point, And not only in Himalayas, wherever there is a sadhu, wherever there is a Mahatma, we must go there. We must visit. And pray from the bottom of the heart. You were able to scale the heights, enable me to scale the heights. My Guru has given me everything, but give me a push. Then later on we find our Guru only has sent us there. When we go deeply, it is only Guru within has arranged for such visits and arranged for such satsang. In this connection, I remember one incident quoted by Shaukat. We must have shared this, but worth repeating it again. He was on a Himalayan trip. He happened to meet a saint, relatively of young age or middle age, but the moment you look at him, you see the Chaitanyam there. Very calm, quiet, serene. So as this person was sitting, who has recorded this, one mother came. One mother came and sat before him and then started asking questions. The first question she said, my Guru says that this Sagunarada will not help. Something like that. After she stopped talking, in a serene way, in a calm way, he replied, there is nothing like, your Guru, my Guru, his Guru. Anybody who had got over this ajnanam is a Guru. Avidya. Whenever any new approach comes, you don't have to stick that my Guru said, my Guru did not say. Your own Guru has directed him. So take whatever you have. So that you are comfortable. You are making use of the best opportunity God gave you or your Guru gave you by having the contact of a saint. So what we mean is, whenever we happen to hear about a Mahatma, whenever we happen to have a chance to meet him, whenever we happen to have a chance to think about him, to hear about him from somebody, we should not miss, because God is providing us, our Guru is providing us an opportunity to know about that, so that our mind is filled up with the Guru's Think about it. The moment we sit here, the moment we hear about Ganji Periyawal, what happens in our mind? The moment we hear about Gandhiji, the moment we hear about Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, remember about Sri Sharadamani Devi or Swami Vivekananda. Yesterday was Swami Vivekananda's birthday. So just imagine what happens. All positive, all enriching. Even for a second when we think about that. Noble thoughts. What they lived for, at least in its own way it comes up and wells up. And it definitely cleanses our mind. Now on the 7th, we have Pujya Mataji's. The moment you think about it, the glorious life and vision of Mataji, finished. At that particular time, what happens in our mind? Watch. It is not sentimental or attached. It is something more than that. So the message is very, very clear. Whenever the Guru within, God within, provides us an opportunity to come in contact with a Mahatma, we should not miss. And when we go there, the tangible, palpable gain is that our mind will be, according to Papa, the same word. It will have a path. It will get fresh. It will be, cleansed off all the dirts. At that particular moment, you are taken to a different realm. We used to see, many people standing on the queue, waiting for hours to have the darshan, just a darshan of Ganji Periyawal. At times he talks, otherwise he may not talk. But the very darshan itself, that gives us a joy which cannot be explained. Because of the severest austerities he performed. Yeah, Papa makes a reference about that austerity. Severest austerity. Not severe. Severest. Just to see him. And only that time we have got, when we remember, we equally remember. Now, we equally enjoy the same thing. We are revisiting him. Because when we meet him, we are not meeting him as a person. God makes us to somehow open up our heart, at least for that few seconds, and make it clean. That is what is meant by bath of the mind. It opens up unconditionally, receives the grace of the Guru from outside, and there is a thrill, which we cannot explain. But even when after we go back, we remember him. Even after they drop their body, we remember them. And in India, even the tradition is, even after they have dropped the bodies, though many people would not have seen them in flesh and blood, they keep going, and that place is marked as a place of pilgrimage. And if we go with the right attitude in the yatra, we will derive benefit. Not like picnic, not like sightseeing. But mentally we are preparing ourselves to have the company of the great Mahatma. And later on we may not have to go there. The moment we close our eyes, they are before us. And it is, like us, probably, it can also be suggested, yes, that every day try to remember all the saints God has made us to visit, God has made us to get in touch with. when they were in form or when they were not in form. For example, now many people would not have had the darshan of Ramana Bhagavan, or Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, or Sri Sharadamani Devi or Vivekananda. But the moment we hear about them, just imagine when Papa went to Dakshineshwar, what prompted him, that experience. So his mind was fully charged with that feeling. So to him it was not an ordinary room. To him it was not an ordinary cushion. He was able to feel the presence of it. His mind is so pure. It is not coming from outside. The purity of the mind made him to feel the vibration. When we go there, we only see it as a room. We do prostration, no doubt. We have some reverence at the outer level. But what Papa had in Dakshineshwar, that is something rarest of the rare. So this paragraph, Papa today made us to think very deeply that whenever there is an opportunity for us to meet a Mahatma, especially a Tapasvi, a Tyagi, we should not miss. And think that our Guru has, this is the truth, Guru has directed us to him. So when the Guru has directed, it will not be without any purpose. It should be for my own benefit in my spiritual journey. Once again we will read. At different stages of the journey over the hills, under trees or in small huts or caves, are seen sadhus engaged in austerities to seek their company and remain there for ever so small period. It's a beautiful word. Ever so small a period. It's a great privilege. The society of a sadhu is a much needed bath for the mind. The pure atmosphere he creates around him by his meditations is the river in which the mind bathes and is purged off all evil thoughts and impressions. Wow, very good. In-depth study means this is in-depth study.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Ordinary reading will not give us this. Now when it touches and kindles so many of the experiences he has provided to all of us. Anandashram devotees must have been definitely blessed with the darshan of so many saints, because Papa wanted us to develop equal respect for all saints. So whenever there is a saint, we will all run, we will all have the darshan. But we did not know then this aspect that was there in IQG, that it is for our own cleansing. So, good that this was pointed out today.
Thank you, Swamiji.
It is very, very inspiring. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
So many things are coming out. Idam was fine. Yes. This is the advantage of collective sadhana. Something that does not strike to one will strike to somebody else. But many are not cooperating. Many are closing their mouth. Let it come out. What a joy it will be, Yes.
Swamiji,
Neelamji wanted to tell something.
இப்ப கூட இந்த மாதிரி மகாத்மாக்கள் இருப்பாள் சாமிஜி, இருப்பா இல்லையா?
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om
we have mentioned that God is simplicity in all its form, but when worshipping or when you go into temple, we see lot of adoration of the God with wealth and flowers and so much of beauty, and Sarva-alangara Pujitaya Namaha we say for Lalita. And Krishna was born with all kinds of wealth and things like that. And we say God is simple. I am unable to meet this contradiction, Swamiji. Can you please explain?
Suppose you go to Guruvayur at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody will be fine for the darshanam. Everything will be removed. Many people go there to have that Nirmalya darshan. Not with so many. Acha, these so many are put by whom? You and I make a vow that we will give this much to Balaji, this much to Guruvayur, this much to this. When something turns up in my life, and I go and do it, God does not want anything. When the sculptor brought out that Vigraha, it was as naked as we are. And then we started putting on so many clothes on ourselves. Like that, devotees started putting so many things on the idol. God is simple and humble, no doubt. We are putting it. We want a golden plate, we want a silver plate. He allows, that's all. He does not say even if you remove it is okay, even if you put it is okay. But he allows the devotees probably to exhaust their vasanas on those lines. And they are not doing it for their, maybe some personal benefit would have come. But they feel that for the longer run of the temple, this might be good or something like that. No? We can't explain it. Their devotion at that level made them to bring so many things. But God, when He came from the before the Pratishtha, you all know that. And every day, religiously, the Pujari goes back to that stage. And again he puts on so many things which you and I give. So he is always simple, straight. We attribute so many things. Just like we add so many things to ourselves, we add so many things to the deity also.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yes, Neelamji.
Yes, Swamiji. Hari Om. Hari Om. Swamiji, chapter 25, Himalayan Journey, 25.
Himalayan Journey.
Continued. Last page, 2 paragraphs, where it is written about the 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Yes, Swamiji, when Papa saw that she was about to fall down, how Papa he was silently calling upon Ram to save her. Ram alone could and none else. So, that intense faith, that development of faith that it is Ram only, how to cultivate that faith that we say from the zip level, He is my protector, He is my savior, God knows everything, He will take care of me, I am the child of God. You know, we talk about it, but that feeling that I am His child and He is my father, that deep conviction.
That is the real struggle, you know. That is the real struggle everybody is facing. Real struggle. Connecting ourselves to Him.
Yes.
That is we can do it in so many, we can try in so many ways. First is when we try to chant Ram Nam, we try to understand how is the chanting going on in me. He is there. So we try to develop the right concept of God. God is within me, God is within me, God is within me. And then we try to connect up. That is the first stage. That we have to keep on hammering. He is within me. He is making me to talk now. He is making me to hear now. In the form of life force. If that is not there, I am not there. So like that we have to keep on doing it. That's why we said, hearing or reading will not help much.
No.
Intense manana should be there, followed by whatever austerities we need, because we know our mind has got a craving for this and that and this and that. So this and that, suppose we start reducing it, probably the mind will become quiet. So we have to do so many things. We have to pay the price, Simply hearing is not paying the price.
No.
No. One must chalk out a discipline. You remember, I will read out again, I have read it many a time. I will read out again Papa's words. Try to enter into the mysterious origin of your and the world life. To know who you are in reality is the real quest. To arrive at this truth, you have to, by a systematized process of thought and discipline, transcend all human limitations set by the body, mind, intellect, and then embarking upon the realm of the spirit, realize your immortal, changeless, blissful nature. So try to enter into the mysterious origin. So first we start. When I say I am so and so, am I? When I feel that I am this body, I am confined to this body, am I so? Like that, we have to try. Hearing will not help. To sit quietly for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then try to enter into the mysterious origin of your and the world life. How did I come to this world? I came to this world because of my father and mother. How did they come to this world then? Their father and mother. There should be a beginning, Like that we go. This is not a cock and bull story, It is something we are there. We are palpable, we are tangible, we are cognizable. And we are trying to find out our source. We are there in a solid form. Where from this solid form came? How did it function? How is it functioning? What are the contributory factors? So this manana is 100% needed. Papa's words are beautiful in this. In glimpses, this is brought out as the first one. What is religion? That is, because on those days, in Papa's days, religion was not misused like this. So instead of spirituality is that religion, that's all. Try to enter into the mysterious origin of your and world life. Okay, then to know who you are in reality is the real question. Number 2, to arrive at this truth, you have to, by a systematized process of thought and discipline, transcend. So, systematized process of thought and discipline. So, we have to chalk out a systematized process of thought and discipline. Discipline at the outer level, thought at the inner level. And then transcend all human limitations, whatever was set by the body, mind and intellect. The norms we have developed, the concepts we have developed, the judgments we have developed. We have to transcend all these things because they are all They are all conceived of by the limited mind and intellect. We have to transcend and then embarking on the realm of the spirit. Beautiful word. So far we have been talking about the sense of individuality, its efforts. Now we should try to move from that level, individual level, to the spiritual level. The force because of which now all activities are going on in me, including the words that are coming out, including the words that I am hearing, including the eyes, the one which I see, everything. That spirit. I am not conscious of the spirit. So now, step by step, Papa gives us a clue. So how am I to do it? Means only by this way. There is no shortcut. And each one has to draw out their own plan of action, ways of approach. Because suiting to their mind, intellect, equipment, body, mind, intellect, equipment. So there is no shortcut. We have to do this.
Yes, sir.
Mama chanting only one part. And rest of the things to follow during the non-chanting time.
Yes.
It may be too hard for us to accept, but that is the reality.
Swamiji.
Yes.
Swamiji, to add to this particular point, here I feel that when you told us the other day, the humming Ram Nam, okay, when we do that humming Ram Nam, I noticed that the concentration, because it is linked with our breath, so the concentration gradually becomes so intense that the attributes start coming automatically to us. So I think this was a wonderful way which you told us, and if we practice this also, it will help us to a great extent.
It could be in certain, to somebody it is okay, to somebody it is not okay. But you see for yourself whether this is okay. Because as you said, here the advantage is it is linked with the breathing.
Breath. Yeah.
So the breath means, it has got its own control on the thoughts. Yeah, definitely. But how long can we do this humming? I don't know. Though outwardly it is humming, it is mental chanting, is it not?
Yes.
So mental chanting is probably made more effective through this humming period. But how long can we do that? We don't know. If the body cooperates with us by training, it will help us a lot. Because while doing this, the mind can concentrate on the attributes, and at the same time, the risk of it going out is very, very minimal. Correct.
Swamiji, it doesn't help me.
These are some of the things which are called by disciplines and thoughts,
Swamiji, it doesn't help me. Humming doesn't help me, I have noticed.
Okay.
I have to do only quietly.
Okay. It depends upon person to person. Nothing is absolutely right, nothing is absolutely wrong. No? Everything is relatively right, relatively wrong. So if we adopt a method that is suitable for us, we don't impose anything. If we impose, it will resist. So that which is suitable for us, we will take it up. The time is already 5 over. Okay.
Swamiji, your humming was very soothing. When you were humming Ram Nam, it was very soothing.
Yes, when Swamiji hums, it is very soothing. When I try to do, I could not maintain.
Try. Even if it's for 1 minute, it is all right. No. That is the game for us. We are trying to connect ourselves with Him. That is the main point. Connecting Him. No? That is important. Forget about humming, forget about things. The main point is to connect ourselves with Him through any device which He prompts, which He facilitates. The in-depth study is slowly, making us to concentrate on that, connecting up. Very, very happy.
Swamiji, one more thing about this whole Ramnam and connection with the Lord. What I notice in my personal life, sometimes different situations come which may be challenging, and if I'm able to withdraw and detach and get into that spirit of Ramnam, just for few minutes, a different aspect comes, and suddenly either the problem is resolved or a solution comes. So I give credit to Ramnam at that time, that it is the Ramnam that is making me think the other way.
Sure.
Because thinking of the problem doesn't help anything.
That is.
But then automatically either the solution is created or something happens, some different aspect.
It may not be, one may not be able to explain it, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, cannot explain.
But connecting up is slowly taking place.
Slowly.
So
Yes.
we pray to Him now. Make it faster, please. We cannot wait more. Time is running short.
Swamiji, அதாவது ஒரே சின்ன ஒரு கொஸ்டின், ரமண மகர்ஷி who am I ஒரு சின்ன ரமண மகர்ஷி find out who am I அப்படிங்கிறாரு. அது எப்படி நாளைக்கு சொல்றேன்னா நாளைக்கு சொல்லுங்க.
இன்னைக்கே சொன்னாரு பாப்பா, try to go to the serious origin. அது என்ன அதுதானே, to know who you are in reality is the real question. You take up glimpses, the first one. To know who you are in reality is the real quest.
Both are same.
Who am I? I have been thinking that I am the name, I am the form, I am the mind, I am the intellect. But slowly, when we go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, then I come to know I'm not what I assume myself to be, but I am something because of which I exist. Then you connect yourself with that source. So everything is same. You kindly go through the first chapter of Glimpses of Divine Vision.
Thank you, sir.
Sarvesh is looking at you.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Hariom, Swamiji, Hariom. Today being holiday, they are home, Swamiji.
Very good. It's a chapter that's once in a way, na? Okay then, very, very happy. The session is becoming lively. Very, very happy. Hariom. Om Shri Ram. Om Shri Ram. Jai Ram. Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram. Jai Ram.
Hariom. Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam Swamiji. Namaskaram Swamiji.
Satsang Pranam. For everybody, Satsang Pranam.
Hariom, pranams to all.